Hi, kindergarten. It's Mrs. Huaco, and it's Fun Friday, and we have another baking video. All right, today we're going to make yogurt cups. We're actually not making yogurt, we're making cups to put yogurt into, and it'll make sort of like a little mini pie. Okay, oh, there's my dog. Hopefully, he's not too loud. Anyways, the first thing I want you to do, go wash your hands. And then I want you to have an adult help you turn the oven to 375 degrees, okay? And your middle rack in your oven should have space between that rack and the one above it that will fit a muffin pan in, okay? So probably about, that high, all right? So go check that out and then come back and we'll continue. All right? I'll say go do that and go pause this and then come back. All right, so now that you've turned your oven on, let me get the list. And it's a small list. This is a pretty quick recipe. All right, so you're going to need flour, all-purpose flour, butter, okay, softened. So you might have to pause the video for a while and let your butter soften. It can't be ice cold from the refrigerator. It has to be sitting out probably for, depending on how warm your kitchen is, maybe a half hour, maybe longer. Let's see, powdered sugar. Not a whole lot. We're only going to use about 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar. And some cold water. So what I've done is I've put some water in a glass measuring cup with some ice. Now we're not using this much water. We're only using a few teaspoons, like a tablespoon. But I want my water to be nice and cold. And then the other thing we need, when this is all done, we're going to put yogurt into these cups and maybe top it off with a fresh berry of your choice. I'm going to use blueberries. And whatever kind of yogurt you want. It could be, I've got, let's see what I have. I've got lemon or vanilla. Oops, where's the vanilla? But you could use blueberry, whatever kind of yogurt you like, okay? But I would use probably one that has, well, it doesn't matter. I was going to say one that has a flavor. But you can use whatever kind of yogurt you like. And then you also need a muffin tin and a mixing bowl, okay, and a spoon. Alrighty, so let's get started. Okay, I'm going to get my mixing bowl. Whew, there we go, I had something else in it. Okay. Make sure it's clean. It's my mixing bowl. Where'd my spoon go? Oh, here's my spoon. Yay. Okay. Oh, I didn't turn on my oven. I need to go turn my oven on. Hold on 1 second. Let's see, where's my oven? There we go. And 375, I said. Alrighty. Okay. Hopefully that's going to be ready by the time we're ready to bake. Okay, so first thing I need to put in my bowl is 3/4 of a cup of flour. So 3/4, that means 3 1/4 cup measuring cups. And these are usually the smallest ones. Now I'll let you in on a little secret. Okay. So we also have a measuring cup called a 1/2 cup. It's the one that has a 1 over a 2, half. Okay, that means it's half as big as the 1 cup measuring cup. So what does that mean, half of? It means that the 1/2 cup measuring one, I can use 2 of these to make 1 of these. So if I fill this up with, say, flour, okay, I would fill it up twice to make 1 of these. Now, another little secret. The little baby one, the 1/4 one, the 1 with a 1/4, 1/4. Takes four of these to fill up the big one. Okay? It takes 2 of these to fill up the smaller one, the 1/2. Okay? So, just a little secret. Okay? Now, we're going to use 3 of these 1/4 ones. But what we could do is use 1 of the 1/2 because it takes 2 of these and 1 of the 1/4. Then we would have 3/4. All right. Well, if that's a little confusing, we'll stick to just 3 of the 1/4. All right. So I need 3/4 of the flour. 3/4 cup. So here's my flour. Anyway, sometimes it's kind of fun to just keep dipping and scooping and scraping, right? Okay. So there's 1. And I'm going to use my straight edge to scoop it off. That's 1. 2. And lastly, 3. Right? Zip. Now we have 3/4 cup of flour in our bowl. Okay. Next thing we need, 1/4 cup of butter, softened. So you might have to stop the video and wait until your butter is soft. Okay? If it is soft enough, we can put it in our bowl. All right? Now, 1/4 cup of butter, unsalted butter. So here's a stick of butter right out of the box, okay? And a stick of butter has 1/2 cup. That's what it measures out to, 1/2 cup. Well, we only need 1/4 cup. So 1/4 cup is half of 1/2 cup, right? So what makes it kind of easy is on the side of the butter, there's little markings. And it's broken down by tablespoons, actually. And 8 tablespoons makes up 1/2 cup. So, half of 8 is 4. Right? 4 plus 4 equals 8. So 4 tablespoons would be half of 8 tablespoons. Well, it turns out that 4 tablespoons is also equal to half of one of these sticks, which is the same thing as 1/4 cup. I know, it's kind of confusing. But it's nice if we look on our butter and we can see, you see that? All the little markings on there, okay? And when you count them out, you're going to go right to, in fact, they even have a little mark there that says 1/4 cup. Alrighty? So we're just going to cut the butter right to that line and put that in our bowl. Okay? Oh, mine is already pre-cut, so I'm going to put my butter. And I actually had 2 little leftover packages, so I'm just going to put that in there. Woo! There we go. All right. The next thing we're going to put in there is the powdered sugar. All right, so let's get our powdered sugar. We have butter in there, our flour in there. Oops, now we need our powdered sugar. Powdered sugar is 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar. So now we have a nice, easy measurement. Sorry to confuse you with all that 1/4 cup and tablespoons and all that stuff. 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar. So get my little straight edge, dip that in. Okay. 1, 2, 2, and 3. All right. All righty. Let's see what else we need. So, next it says, we are going to mix this all up with our spoon until it's kind of crumbly. So you see it right now, we got the butter in there and the flour and the sugar. So we're just gonna mix this all up until it gets nice and crumbly. Alrighty? All right, how is that stirring going? Because what I'm finding is that stirring the butter into the flour and sugar with a wooden spoon isn't the best. See, a lot of these recipes, they call for a mixer, but I'd like to do things without a mixer so we can just do this ourselves and not have to get our parents involved too much, right? So what I found is actually if you can get a whisk or some forks, we can stir up that butter into sort of the size of maybe like little peas. And it seems to work better with a whisk than with the wooden spoon. So let me show you what mine looks like now. Okay, so stirring it around with a whisk, which is kind of chopping up the butter so that it's looking like smaller little pieces. I don't know if you can see that or not. That's what we want. So we want it to be crumbly. We're going to just keep stirring. This might take a little while, especially if your butter is cold. All right, we're going to keep stirring up with a whisk our flour, our butter, and our powdered sugar until it is beginning to be crumbly, a crumbly mixture with little kind of tiny balls of butter. Alrighty, so keep doing that, and then I will show you what we do next. Here, I'm going to show you again what mine looks like, and this is what yours should look like. And once it gets to this type of crumbliness, we can add the ice cold water. Alright, let me show you. You see that? Alright, I hope you can see it. Okay, you see how there's like little balls? It's all kind of mixed up. Alright, there's no big lumps of butter in there. You know, it's just sort of mixed in there. Kind of reminds me of Parmesan cheese actually when I grate it. That's what it sort of looks like to me. Okay, at this point I'm going to add my ice cold water. Alright, and we don't need a lot. Only like 2 to 3 teaspoons of ice cold water. And what the recipe tells me to do, it says, let's see, I'm going to read it for you. It says, sprinkle in water 1 teaspoon at a time, stirring until dough forms. Do you remember when we made the dough for the twisters? Okay, sort of like that. It won't be exactly like that, not like a bread dough, but like a ball of dough, it says. Alrighty, so we're going to try to do that 1 teaspoon at a time. So I have my ice cold water right here. I'm going to just dip my spoon in there. Here we go. All right. And I'm going to sprinkle, which kind of just means like I'm going to drip it. See how I'm kind of shaking my little bits of water in there? I'm doing 1 teaspoon, and then I'm going to stir it. Well, clearly, 1 teaspoon isn't enough to make all of this flour and sugar and butter become one big glob, huh? So I'm going to add another teaspoon. All right, and I'm going to see how I'm just kind of dripping it, shaking my little spoon of water over that mixture. And now I'm going to stir it some more, and look what's happening. It's starting to clump together. Okay. It's kind of neat, huh? Alrighty, now we're going to add, I think it still needs another one. I don't think 2 did it. So, my 3rd teaspoon of ice cold water. Drip, 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 all around. Hopefully that's enough. Alright, I'm going to stir it some more. And it's coming together. I think that might be enough. I hope so. We don't want this dough to be too wet. We want it to stick together because we're going to line our muffin tins. We're going to line our muffin tins with this dough. Alrighty, it has to squish together. It can't pour in there, and it can't be too sticky because else it'll be sticking all over to our fingers, and that won't be good. So, let's see. This looks quite different from when we started. Look at it now. Let's see if I can just tip this. You see it now? It looks really different from when we first started, don't you think? Okay. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to try it. Oh, yeah. So I think when we put our fingers in it and make a ball out of it, it'll all stick together quite nicely. All right. Let's see. Okay. Put this aside. Kind of messy. Okay. I'm going to get my muffin tin, which I have over here. Just going to grab it. Okay. And we don't have to even grease it because we had all that butter in our mixture here. I'm going to pull up my sleeves. And it says we need about 3 tablespoons. I don't know if we need that much to fill up. What we're going to do is we're going to put it in our muffin tin. We're not filling it all the way up. We're just going to push it around the edges of our muffin tin, each one of these little cups, to make a little pastry cup that'll hold our yogurt in. So I'm going to take I'm going to first start with my tablespoon measure, and we'll see how much of this we need. I'm going to scoop it into my bowl. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to put that in my hand. Squish it together. Oh, look how it sticks. See? I guess it is moist enough, and that was just the 3 teaspoons of water. All right, I'm going to take that, and I'm going to push it into my muffin tin. Okay. Let's see which one. Oh, maybe this one you can see better. Okay. I'm going to put it in the bottom. Okay. That one tablespoon I kind of put in the bottom. And I'm going to scoop up another tablespoon in my hand. Okay. And I'm going to fill up the sides. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you something else. I've never made these before. Nope, I'm going to use a third tablespoon. So, this is kind of an adventure for me too. I've never done this. We're learning together. All right. So, let's see how that looks. All right, you see what I did? I put that dough, and it was 3 tablespoons, into my little muffin pan. Okay. Can you see that? All right. And we're going to do this to each little muffin tin. I'm not sure how many it will fill up, but we'll just do it until we run out of dough. All right? So you're going to take, about 3 tablespoons of this, okay? And you can do it all at once and kind of make a ball, okay? I'd say the ball is probably the size of, what do you think? Maybe a little bit bigger than a golf ball, okay? All right? And we're going to push that into our muffin pan again. See how I did that? And then I'm pushing it at the bottom, and then I'm squishing it up around the sides. My thumb works best. All right? And we don't want the bottom to be too thin or the sides to be too thin either, because it's got to hold the yogurt. All right? But it can't be too thick because it needs to make a little dent so that we can have a cup to pour that yogurt into, right? So it has to have what they call a well. Right, see how that one looks? Okay. Alrighty, let's keep going. We got a lot more to do. All right, I'm gonna stop this and make the rest of mine, and you can pause it, make the rest of yours, and then let's come back and take a look at them. Alrighty. Oops, there we go. Okay, how did you do? How many did you make? It really didn't make very many, did it? Mine only made 4, and actually the recipe said 4. So sometimes I don't believe it. Oh well, they were telling the truth. So here are my 4. Probably what I should have done was done it more in the center. It's good when you're baking things to have your items in the center of the oven because the temperature is more even in the center of the oven than on the edges. So we'll just have to watch when we bake this that they don't get too brown too fast, okay? But you might have an oven that is better than my oven. My oven tends to be a little temperamental and quirky, right? Okay, so now that we have our pastry cups in our muffin tin, we're going to put them in that middle space in our oven. We need an adult to help us open up that oven and put the tin in because the oven is pretty hot. Okay, so let's go do that. Let's see. Check my oven here. It says that it's the right temperature. Hopefully it's telling the truth. And let's see. Okay. Open it up. And got my pot holder. Pull out my rack. Put my tin down in there. Push it in. Alrighty. Close it up. Now I'm going to get my timer. It's my timer. And it says 10 to 12 minutes. So I'm going to put mine on for 9 or 10 minutes. Just because that's the way my oven works. Okay. Your parents, your mom or dad probably knows how your oven is. So I'm going to put mine on for 9 minutes because mine tends to cook a little fast. And there we go. And I will see you back in about 9 minutes, I guess. Alrighty, you can pause the video. I'll see you later. Okay, I'm back. My timer just went off. Actually, it went off a few times. And for whatever reason, they just were not cooking. So I think my pastry cups have been in there for about 13 minutes. Hopefully they're done now. Let me take a look. Let's see what you think. I'll open this up. I hope so. Gosh, I hope so. Let's see. All right, they're a little bit more golden. Yeah, I think so. There's some golden brown around the edges now. They look a little bit better. So I'd say they're pretty done. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna let them cool over here. Close up my oven because it's really hot. Turn it off before I forget. Turn off my light, turn that off, turn that off. Okay, well I hope yours are done too. Like I said, mine ended up taking longer than 10 minutes. They took more, closer to 13 minutes, I think. Now we have to let them cool. So we're going to let them cool for about 10 minutes, and then we can pop them out of our tins with a little metal spatula. We can get around the edges and just kind of pop those out and put them in on a dish or in a container until we're ready to use them. But I will show you once they cool to put the yogurt in and a little piece of fruit, and it should be pretty yummy. So anyways, let's let these cool, and I'll see you in a few. All right, kindergarten. So are your pastry cups nice and cool and ready to come out of their muffin tin? All right. Okay, let me go get my tin, and we will try this together. Okay, so your tin should be cool to touch, and so I'm touching mine. All right, so you have a plate. I have a plate here. I'm going to put my little cups on. And let's see how we're going to do this. Okay, I have a little knife. And hopefully they'll just sort of pop out. I hope so, because I didn't... Ooh, look how nice. Yeah, see, look at that. All right, I'm going to put them on my plate over here. See that? Okay. I'm going to pop out the rest. So I'm just using I'm actually using a little butter knife to do this because they're so small. There, let's see if I can show you again. Okay, I just put a little bit around the edge. And they just sort of come right up. Wow. I think I should have made mine a little thinner because they kind of puffed up, and I don't know if I'm going to have that much room for the yogurt. This one's a little bit better. So if I were to make these again, I think I might make them a little bit thinner on the bottom. I'm going to put my pan over here. So I'm going to put some vanilla yogurt in mine. All right, here's my little vanilla yogurt. Let's see. Ooh, it's not opening. All right, it is really not opening. I'm gonna have to use a knife here. Look at this. Just won't open. Here we go. Just use my butter knife. Here we go. There. Ooh, yum. I got a spoon to ladle that in. I think I'm going to need, my yogurt looks a little runny, so I'm going to stir it up. Probably also it was sitting out, it wasn't in the refrigerator. It probably would be thicker if it was in the fridge. Okay. And I'm just going to spoon it into my little cup here. Okay. Yeah, I think this is going to have to go back in the fridge. Lesson and note to self. Keep your yogurt in the refrigerator until you're ready to use it, which I did not, and it got kind of thin. But I'm going to fill it up, one of them up. Ooh, I should show you what I'm doing here. Okay, you see that? I just poured a scoop in there. All right, look at that. Doesn't that look pretty? Yeah. And then, oh, I had that set on there for, I'm not sure what, I think to cool. I think it was to cool them, but they cooled faster than my timer. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some little bit of blueberries on mine to make it a little bit prettier. See that? Look at that. Ooh, doesn't that look good? Yeah. And I might even put a little bit, what I have here is mint, fresh mint. I like fresh mint. So I'm going to put a little fresh mint on mine. Look at that. Doesn't that looks pretty yummy, doesn't it? Look at that. Oh. That's because I have the gooey yogurt. But it tastes really good. All right. So, use thicker yogurt than I did, right? So it doesn't pour out of your cup. And then put it in the fridge. And then it should firm up really nicely. And you know what? If you don't want to use yogurt, if your yogurt is thin like mine, I might put ice cream in them or even pudding. There's a lot we can put in these little cups, I think. All right, even just a bunch of fruit would be good too. So hope you had fun making them. I hope you have more fun eating them and that your yogurt doesn't drip out like mine just did. Looks like I'm going to have to get a spoon to clean up that mess. But I think they look pretty good, you know. Well, a little drippy. But you know, practice makes perfect. So I think I might have to try to make this again. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoy your weekend. And I will see you next week. Right, take care, kindergarten.